So on the one hand, we say, if you could care less about, so this is the funny circular thing that we're ready to say to you finally. We want you to not care about the manifestation so you can get better manifestations. Isn't that screwy?
Yeah.
That's sort of where everyone is. So, okay, I get it, Abraham. I have to ignore these manifestations, trusting that I put all kinds of good stuff in my vortex that I can't get to as long as I'm looking at these manifestations. But if I can get into the vortex, then the vortex will affect the manifestations. So what are we saying? What we're saying is you're supposed to have really good manifestations. We're saying it's perfectly brilliant and wonderful to look at everything that is pleasing you and use it as your basis of vibration. We're not trying to separate you from your reality, from your manifested reality. We're trying to help you create a pleasing manifested reality. So what are we really saying? Just don't look at the stuff that doesn't feel good. When you look into what is, and you're looking at the birds, and you're looking at the ocean, and you're looking at the beautiful sky, and you're looking at the magnificent world you are living in, and you're looking at the beautiful people, and looking at the beautiful children, and listening to the comedy and the music and all of the wonderful things that surround you, you're looking at manifestations, and you're utilizing manifestations to align you with the vortex. In other words, this is the thing that we really want you to hear. We're not off in Never Never Land. We're not sitting on the clouds with our feet dangling over the edge. We're not some nebulous mist. We are involved in every intricate detail of your delicious manifestations. That's why they feel so good to you. We're right there listening to your saunas, listening to your beautiful melodies, listening to the rapture in your heart. We're right there with you in your orgasms. We're right there with you in your taste buds when you're eating all of that delicious food. We're right there with you, right there with you, right there with you. We're not trying to get you to be other than this manifested genius out here on the leading edge that you are. We're not trying to separate you from that. We want you to be that. We just want you to spend less time in the contrasting parts that are depriving you then of the manifestation that is coming. Is that clear? Vortex first, then manifestation follows. Vortex first, then manifestation follows. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would be milking our current reality for every delicious thing that we could focus upon. We would be making lists of positive aspects. We would be doing rampages of appreciation. We would be doing anything and everything that we could do to extract a keen awareness, a sharp, specific awareness in ourselves right here, right now, of the beauty of that which is. But if we find ourselves in a moment where the beauty isn't dominant, where the beauty isn't compelling, where the beauty isn't even seeable because of what we are focused upon, then we would not try to wring it from the manifestation. We would instead find our way into the vortex, the emotion of feeling, knowing that if you can do that, that the vortex will then give you immediately a more pleasing manifestation. And at first, the manifestation will be emotion. Next, it will be trains of thoughts will begin to come, ideas, inspiration. Next, it will be others collaborating. Next, it will be heaven and earth moving to accommodate you in whatever you want. In other words, there's no limit to the details that manifestations will bring. So that leads us to what we talked about just before segment of refreshment that we were really wanting to talk about, because every moment that you are conscious, you have this abiding awareness, you cannot get away from it, of your relationship between who you really are and all that you've become and how much you're letting in. In other words, in every moment you're having a manifestational emotion, an emotion that is a manifestation in every moment. If you're bored, it's a manifestation and it's telling you about this relationship. If you're excited, it's a manifestation in this moment that's telling you about this relationship. If you're fearful, it's a manifestation that's telling you about this relationship. In other words, you can't stop having a feeling, can you? Don't you wake up and say, don't you say, isn't something that you say constantly how I feel? Well, I feel this or I feel that. Aren't you aware of how you feel? I feel tired. I feel happy. I feel bored. I feel hungry. Well, hungry, that's a little different. I feel these emotions. I feel all day long. I feel bored at work. I feel uninspired at work. I feel inspired. I feel happy. I feel happy in talking to you. I feel unhappy in talking to you. I feel frustrated in this conversation. I feel exhilarated in this conversation. I feel. You do. You're having those feeling manifestations all day, every day, every moment that you are conscious. You're having this awareness of this relationship, this vibrational relationship. So when you get it that this manifestation is happening constantly and that you have much more leeway and latitude in how you feel than just observing what is, now you've got it. Now you're free.
Right. And what is being a platform of contrast sounds like you're standing on like some rock that's got lava and hot fire coming off it, and you want to leap off of this rock into this next place.
Well, it's like being in Hawaii. There's the volcano, and there's the ocean, and there's the lava, and there's the most beautiful bougainvillea you've ever seen, and there's the lava, and there's the dolphin. In other words, it's all around you, and every particle of everything is wanted and unwanted. You just have to tune yourself to the wanted part. So that leads us to what we were talking about earlier, that because of this range of emotion between completely allowing the fullness of who you are in a moment or not, allowing or resisting, over here in the most resistant emotion, like fear or depression, is something really active and really specific going on in your mind about something you really don't want. So if you're really specifically focused upon something that you really don't want, you're exercising the greatest resistance and you're feeling the worst. If you are general as you are focused negatively, in the generality rather than the specifics, there's not as much resistance and you would feel relief. So it would feel better to be general about it than to be specific. Now, a lot of times people think that what we're saying is, well, when you really know what you don't want, you really know what you do want, so go think about what you do want right now. Just stop it and go think about what you really do want right now. Well, you just can't do that because the vibration within you is only giving you access to a certain number of things that are in the range of where you are. So you just torture yourself. It's like these magnificent, and they are manifest. This is a law of attraction, money and the law of attraction. We wrote these. They are just brilliant. They're just brilliant. And so if you're standing in a need of money and you read these, I can create both the money and the time to enjoy it. Really? Let me read that again. I can create both money and the time to enjoy it. I don't get that. It seems like I have to go to work to get money. I wonder if I send this to my employer, if it would make a difference. Oh, here's another really stupid one. I can earn money by doing what I love to do. I'll send that one to my employer too. Life is always working out for me. I'll send that one to my employer too. So affirming from your awareness of what is sometimes gets you in an even more specific place. I will praise success wherever I see it. Like hell I will. There's not a good card in here. I'm always receiving the essence of what I'm giving. I don't want to hear that. Welcome to planet Earth. Give me a break. So by when you're really on that raw and ragged edge, and that's when you try to get specific about what you can't. These cards were written in the vortex. When you're not in the vortex and you try to read these cards, they annoy you. They don't help. They cause you to be more specific than you are able to be. It's sort of like having a conversation with a friend and you're having a disagreement and you're really trying to make that person understand what you know. And the more you say, the more they can't hear it. the more you both dig into your opposing positions. Well, it's sort of what happens when you try to get too specific, when you don't feel good. It's like law of attraction just keeps bringing more of it, and it just holds you longer and harder in that place that you don't want to be. So you have to find a way of letting go of the resistance. And what we are wanting you to hear is that by staying on the subject, because you kind of can't leave the subject because it's so compelling and so in your face, if you will just get general about it, you'll feel relief. And when you are generally negative, you can become generally positive quite easily. And then once you are generally positive, then you can become more specifically positive. And that's sort of the trail that we would follow.
Right.
So it's all something that you have to feel your way into. And as we are moving forward, we'll play with some of you on some of those things. If you've got some bugaboos going, we'll move from the specific to the generally negative to the generally positive, and you'll feel the shift. It's easy. It's easy. It's much easier no matter what you're dealing with than you know.
Well, you just said that you were there with me in my real high joys and elated times in life, and I appreciate that. I feel you there.
Well, here's the thing. We are there in your high times, whether you're there or not.
And where are you going?
It's sort of like you holding a party, and we all go, and you don't show up. But it doesn't keep us from going. We don't need you to be there to be there. That just like in the earlier question that you were talking about, we are not dependent upon your joy for our joy.
So you're partying even when I'm not partying.
We party all the time. It never ceases with us.
And you're just waiting for me to come join.
Yeah, but if you come or don't.
So where do you go when I'm not? You're just still having fun.
Well, there are endless parties. You're not the only party in town. And since we are always looking for that, you see, because we're in on this manifestation too. We make it sound a little bit, as we were talking today, like you're out here creating reality, but you're not creating it without us. You create it and we sustain it, and you create it and we sustain it, and you create it and we sustain it. But where does the first thought and the second thought leave off? In other words, we're all in this together, you see. We're going to the party. We're going to the joy. We're going to the deliciousness of physical experience. We are there, and we are present in every particle of everything that exists. We are romping in the one-celled organisms. We are romping in the cells of your body. We are romping in your flora and fauna, and our most thrilling exposure to life is through the vivid, leading edge, specific experience of that which is human. In other words, there's nothing more delicious than to be able to think and mold the clay with your thoughts. It is a wonderful thing. And where man ever got himself separated from that which is source is really a ridiculous, bogus conclusion that is inaccurate. It is a flawed premise that we have been engaging with people like you for a long time in order to set to rest.
They were not separated from source.
Never, ever, 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 ever separated from source. And to the degree that you've pinched the kink, put a kink in the hose a little bit, you feel it in the negative emotions that you feel.
But we're just pinching off a little bit of you, right?
Well, you cannot sever your relationship with that which is us. But to the degree that you feel bad, you're doing a pretty good job of it. In other words, it's never unrevivable. It's never, ever not reestablishable. About our 10th new word today. The transcriber really has a difficult time with spell checker. Autocorrect is another one on the texting. You noticed it? Esther says to Tracy, "I'll see you in the morning." And her text said, "I'll see you in the meningitis." And Esther didn't notice. And so now it is a family joke. Now they say, "See you in the meningitis."